right, we are here again on Lowcountry Money Talk, our final segment today. And as you, our viewers, have been joining us, we have really worked through a lot of topics relating to today's financial questions, economy, global conflicts, you name it. We've really pretty much covered it. Phil Bloyd is here to help us sort of put a bow on this episode, wrap up some of our conversations today, and we're grateful for that.
Sure. This is a good one to keep.
It's a good one.
May want to record it.
Yeah, I've been taking notes, so maybe y'all have at home as well. One of the things you said before the break, Phil, is do you have a plan? Or do you just have a group of financial products?
Right.
That was a pretty eye-opening question. So I'd love for our viewers, I think we owe it to them to really work through that question.
Sure. Let's do this to our viewers. What I'd like you to do right now is just grab a piece of paper and write down what your financial plan is. Then we'll know. So it's like, okay, if the market's down, I get my funds from here. If the market's up, I get my funds for here. This is what's going to happen if anything happens to me. These are where the funds go. How much can I increase my income? What's my required minimum distribution? Where am I going to take it from? So to our viewers now, the really good way to know if you have a plan or strategy is to take a piece of paper and a pencil and write it down right now. And if you're struggling with it, guess what?
You don't have a plan.
You don't have a plan.
That's the scary part.
And let me tell you, it doesn't matter how much money you have. I've had people come see me that are just loaded with big bucks and people with not so much. And when I ask them, I'm like, tell me your financial strategy and your plans. They struggle. And they're like, well, I got enough money, I don't have to worry about that. If you're running a corporation, do you have a budget? Do you have a plan?
Right.
Do you know how much you spend in expenses? Yes. You are running a corporation. So what happens when the market's good the last 13 years, we don't worry about it so much.
Right.
And it's like we've got all this money, we don't have to worry about it.
And here's the problem, as we were discussing this, is so many advisors and people sort of got just comfortable, right? We've set it on autopilot, to your point. Okay, I put in the numbers in my spreadsheet, I have enough money to live out retirement. But what you're describing here is really, like you said, that's just a group of financial products with sort of an average performance.
Yeah,
and what we want to do is find opportunities to make moves to better our financial picture. So describe some, for instances.
Let's be a little more strategic. So a lot of people, they'll go to their advisor and they're like, I want you to run me an income plan or retirement plan or whatever. And for most people, that consists of just putting some numbers in a program. How, what's your Social Security, what age are you gonna take it, what's your pension income, and they'll take your investments and they're gonna say, okay, we're gonna look at an average rate of return of whatever, and it's gonna come out and it's gonna say, okay, you run out of money at 95. And it's going to add in inflation, more withdrawals from your IRA, all these different things. And you're like, oh, okay, well, that's good because, I don't plan on being around longer than that anyway. Or, some people actually say, well, you better run that to 100 because they're pretty optimistic.
Okay, and I'm feeling good.
But the problem is, what is the underlying instrument of that plan? Now, I've got a better idea. What if we take a more strategic approach and down markets, up markets, and whatever to maybe enhance things a bit? Because you ever heard the term junk in, junk out, right? So what that plan's really not considering is like, okay, now I'm gonna switch my income from the stock side of things because it's down 20% or whatever, and I'm gonna take it out of the things that are performing at a lower rate of interest rate of return. That plan's not gonna take that into an account. So if we take a more proactive stance, now you've been to the advisor and they're like, oh, it's all gonna work its way out, just hold it,
What'd you say? They might say, turn the TV off and go play golf.
Turn the TV off and go play golf.
That's a strategy.
Yeah, that's a strategy. It'll be okay, No, I mean, now we have updates in the market, maybe we need to make some adjustments. But now's the time because you are seeing the holes and you're planning now.
Right. So in any case, we need to be making adjustments along the way. And if you didn't get all that, because there was a lot of information in today's episode, the good news is you actually can sit down with Phil and his team and do a risk assessment and a portfolio analysis on your specific financial picture. We've had the information up all show, and it's on screen, so please take advantage of that.
And Rachel will be the one to contact with that. So
There you
be
go.
sure to ask for Rachel.
Ask for Rachel. There you go. That's great. Well, thanks, Phil, for all the expert advice. We appreciate you.
I enjoyed it. Thanks.
We appreciate you. We hope we see you next time on the next episode of Lowcountry Money Talk.